One of my students who was nominated for this grant was kicked out of her home because she wanted to go to college. So this grant was really huge for her because she literally didn't even have a home to support her in this next step.
I think one of the most impactful moments was at Kohl's. We were getting bathroom things and kitchen things. And then the student looked at me and said, do you think they'll care if I go get socks? And I said, well, no, I mean, if you need socks. And I just remember her saying, this is kind of cool because my family, we kind of just have a community bin of socks. It's not something we get to have for ourselves. We do the same with coats. And so she loaded up on socks, and that was the first time she's ever been able to buy her own. And I thought that was pretty powerful.
A big part of what I do at South in the College and Career Center is help the kids figure out what they want to do after high school. So it's already kind of a mentor piece built in, but being a mentor for the kids through the Student Assistance Grant is huge because a lot of times their support and connections stop after high school, but these kids still need a lot of help figuring out what all of the pieces are to make sure college can actually happen successfully for them.
The students' reactions to having a mentor this year has been overwhelmingly positive. When we first told them that they were receiving the scholarship, they were extremely excited. Most of them had no real other scholarships. This was a huge chunk of the financial service they were getting. And then knowing that it came with the layer of somebody to keep in contact with, that they weren't just handed the money, they did express a couple different times that it scared them to have that much and they didn't know quite how to budget for it. So it was nice to have somebody, besides a parent though too, somebody that is in education and kind of knew how to steer that was another safety net for them, I think. And they've been really good about asking different questions. You know, do you think I'm going to need these things? And they have all said they really don't know how else they would have asked if this program wasn't available for them.
You grow so much when you start college. And so seeing these pieces of their personalities come out and their passions starting to grow is huge.
Seeing them then in the academic setting in my high school, I knew them to be well-spoken and they were taking AP classes and successful. And so being a mentor, I got to see a little bit behind the veil of a different side of what they go through. It allowed me to realize that sometimes we see our successful students and forget that they also have a lot of needs. And this was a way to really make that clear and then share that with our staff, and it kind of raised a lot more awareness of that reality for our students.
I think it's extremely important for students to have a mentor. College is a whole new world. There are so many different things that you have to do in order to make it happen, from the FAFSA or ORSA to registering for classes by yourself to managing your schedule. So having a mentor along the way to help remind you of those pieces, remind you of those timelines, while fostering the students building those skills to be able to do it themselves later in their college career is really important.
One of the most surprising moments came after we had set up materials and those kinds of things. I knew they would have questions about the dorm, but I was surprised at how many questions they had about the actual academic process. I think when, especially the 4 students, all of them I had come through AP classes, they're all successful, they're all really independent and really self-motivated. And so you kind of assume as teachers that these kids are going to go be successful. And it was really surprising to realize that they truly didn't know how to navigate the process.
Mom was not in support of continued education at all. So when the student was expressing that that's what she wanted to do, it made everything more unsteady. She spent a lot of her senior year living with friends. For a while she was living out of her car. But yeah, we were able to help her move, help her get a steady, safe home life with another family member, and she started college with a fresh page and a fresh start to her future. The grant and scholarship money didn't cover everything, but it gave her a huge start, and she's fully enrolled in her school now, passing all of her classes and ready to start and overcome this next step.